Hello, welcome to the Dollhouse. I am the doll, and today I'm going to be talking about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Sorry, Shira, because I know you love him. I love him too. He's fantastic. He is a shape shifter. And I'm going to analyze whether or not he was a colorist because he bleached his skin. Now, some people say he bleached it for vitiligo, and some people believe that he got vitiligo as a result of bleaching. Regardless of why he did it, he did that. And he leaned into the privilege of being light-skinned. He wanted to be widely accepted. I believe that everything he did was very, very calculated, especially after watching a documentary on him recently. He wanted to be number one. He wanted to top himself. He wanted to be accepted worldwide. And this was especially after being rejected and not getting Grammys after Off the Wall. That album was pure perfection. He did not get any recognition for it. So he came back and was like, you know what? They're going to give me everything. And then Thriller won like 7 Grammys in one night. And it's right now the highest selling record of all time with over 70 million albums sold. So he was very calculated. And I believe that he leaned into ambiguity so that he could have a wider appeal in Asian countries, certainly. And you can see how he influenced in the Asian cultures by watching the boy bands in those groups, the K-pop groups. They're just Michael Jackson knockoffs. Every single one of the guys in a group that I was just watching, I don't know their names. Every single one of them looks like Michael Jackson, makes his movements, has his hair flicks. And the thing is that he understood how other people viewed light skin, and he capitalized on it. He leaned into it. And it seemed like black people, of course, they never really rejected him for this the way they might reject a black woman. They just loved him more. They, accuse Beyonce and Rihanna of bleaching and make that a reason not to like them. And, but for him, he experienced something very different. He became the biggest star in the world. And as I said, he always wanted to top himself. His third album, Bad, is when he really debuted his new light-skinned self. He started a little bit in Thriller, but with the album Bad, the baby hair really hit its stride. And the debut video from this album, y'all hear that rain in the back? I hope it doesn't bother you because I'm going to keep going. The debut single from this album, Bad, it has a feature film, because he's like coming off the back of Thriller. People expect something big. So he had a video, which is basically a video about his dark-skinned self versus his new light-skinned self. The new boy who goes to a nice private school with white boys, going back to his old home in the ghetto after school and having his homeboys try to drag him down and bring him into street culture. And who's the leading ringleader? Wesley Snipes, the antagonist. the king of dark skin, Nino Brown. So it's just really interesting to watch this video in retrospect. I could believe that Michael was perhaps bleaching to get rid of the effects of vitiligo. And, believe that he wasn't trying to alter his appearance to be more ambiguous. I could believe that if he didn't also get the matching hair and the matching noses. If he were still wearing the Jackson 5 hair as a light-skinned Michael, would he have made it to the very tip top? If he had a bald fade, I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. He definitely wore the straight hair wigs. The burn that he experienced from the Pepsi commercial did damage his scalp, but he still wore a different texture of hair. So even if he wore a wig, he certainly wore a different texture. And it seemed as if he wanted to disconnect from his family in a lot of ways. And he didn't really want to be a member of the Jackson 5 anymore. He really wanted to be his own person. And, of course, again, I said he wanted to top himself. He wanted to outdo himself often. And he was the standard of cool for many people in the 80s, like around the world. The Thriller jacket, you could see that in every corner of the world at one point. See, I was born in 79, so I remember this stuff as it happened. And it's just interesting to me to observe that the most popular black man in the world changed his appearance to appeal to the masses who give light-skinned people privilege. He appealed to that. And if you ask the male stars, like black male R&B singers who they've been inspired by, a great majority of them would say Michael Jackson. So he influenced a great bit of popular culture. The mentalities of men and women and people. And he was very effeminate. I honestly believe that he was so competitive that he married Elvis Presley's daughter just as a competitive move, because he's really the only person who's outsold Michael, especially at that time. He was, Elvis. And Michael Jackson could have married anyone, and he married Lisa Marie Presley. And I believe it was a competitive move. He positioned himself strategically with certain women like Brooke Shields and Madonna. He positioned himself very strategically. He certainly took advantage of arranged relationships and photo ops. He's as competitive as any man ever has been. And that's why, I do believe that he altered his appearance. And he was he wasn't a short man, but he was very, very slender. And a lot of times his wardrobe stylists and the people around him wanted to make him appear somewhat tough. And when you look back at these videos, I would encourage you to go back and look at the video bad. It's literally a struggle between Michael's old dark-skinned self, or maybe his, inner world, and his newer self. And as time went by, we could see him evolve more and more. I remember watching this video when it debuted on MTV and being astonished at how different he looked, because this was the first time he really looked much, much lighter, and the nose job, like, this was probably the second or third nose job. So the pathology of changing oneself isn't always self-hate, I don't think. I do believe it is based in strategy, because he understood how other people viewed him, and he understood how other people viewed blackness. And instead of trying to change the world, he was just like, well, I'm just going to change myself. I can do that. Can't try to make everybody else change, but I can understand these people and, get what I want from them by giving them what I think they want. And he did. So it's just something to be aware of. I'd love to know what your thoughts and feelings are about this topic and Michael Jackson in general. The number one shapeshifter, the most popular black man who ever lived, and Kanye West's inspiration. So, dolls, I love you, and we'll be talking soon.